Good morning, everybody, and happy hump day to you. It's time for Project Joy Live. We've got lots on tap today. Get your mugs. Let me know what you're drinking this morning, and let's get ready. Here we go. Good Wednesday morning, everybody. I hope you are doing well this morning. I'm Jessica Dugas, your host for Project Joy Live. So excited to be with you today. Yes, as you can hear, things are still plugging along over here because when I do things well, boys and girls, even when that includes. I'm an overachiever in literally every aspect of my life, including some of the whatever this is that I have going on. This is day 9 for anyone that's counting. Um, but I am still in really good spirits, and that's part of what we're going to be talking about on the show today. How is it possible to make joy out of absolutely anything? It's gonna be a great topic today. Let's get to the morning brew to find out what else we're going to be doing on today's show. I hope you are waking up well and in a good mood this morning. If not, I hope this brings you the joy that you need for today. On today's morning joy brew, what we're going to be talking about today, it's Wednesday, so we're going to do the weather. Um, and I'm going to try not to laugh really hard so that I don't get in a complete coughing fit on air today. However, we're going to do the weather because I didn't do it last week and it made me sad. We're also going to be talking about our national days today, which there's always something to celebrate. So I love talking about some of the different awareness days and national celebration days and all of that. Then after break, we're going to be diving into the daily uplift, which today we're going to be talking about, as I said, finding joy in absolutely anything. Okay. I'm going to give you just a little twist on that today. And hopefully, you'll be able to walk away with a tool that you need as challenges arise in our life, which is a normal human thing. And then we've got birthdays, and I got to share with you what's going on the rest of the week on the Breakthrough Show Network. You guys ready? Let me know if you're joining us this morning. Brittany's here. Good morning. She's in the front row. She's in the front row. If you're joining us today, chime in and say hello. And also let me know what's bringing you joy today because it's going to be an amazing show. And with that, let's do the weather. Why not? I hope the birds are chirping and the beautiful sun is out where you are in the world. It is not the case here in New London, Connecticut. It is rainy. We had some storms come through last night. Danielle's here this morning. Let me know what the weather's like in your neck of the woods, Danielle, because she's a little bit north and west of me, just a tiny bit in Connecticut here. So but listen, I got such a laugh. I had to do the weather this morning. So around the US, very mild temperatures today. Like I'm surprised that it's as mild as they are. The only places that are really like super, super cold are literally like the northernmost tips of Minnesota, Michigan, up to Wisconsin, those states up there. Y'all are still a little bit cold. Everywhere else is pretty mild. We're seeing like 50s, high 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s down in Florida. But then when you look at the rain that's happening, almost the entirety of the eastern seaboard of the United States is in the rain today. But it's funny the image that comes up when you look at the weather, the map with the rain. Okay, and so this morning I was laughing with my kids, actually doing the weather here. I was like, and the rain is beginning down south and rising to the Northeast, like, I'm doing my whole weather routine here, and my son goes and skipping Florida like all of us try to do. Skipping Florida like the rest of us. So funny. It made me laugh so hard because you always hear those stories about Florida man this and all of the craziness that comes out of Florida. And I laugh so hard, you guys. But that is the case that the rain is skipping Florida today. Is just, it's like forget it. We're not doing anything with no Florida man, and we're gonna go go up to the Northeast. Danielle said yes, it's rainy, cloudy, and gloomy. It looks like to me that it is raining in West Virginia too, and so Brittany can let me know about that because that's what it looks like. They've also got some rain in the northwest, as well as some snow. So it's raining and snowing where my son is out in Washington State. Brittany said it's so nice to have the storm though. Have my patio door open to hear it coming down. Yeah, see, we don't do that. We don't open doors here in New London. Isn't that right, Danielle? All of that being said, see, you can find joy in absolutely anything. Let's talk about what our national days are today, you guys. There's always something to celebrate. There's always something that has the ability to bring you joy, and that's what we like to talk about on our Celebrate Today segment. Today is National Chocolate Souffle Day. Do you guys like a chocolate souffle? Let me know. I have not had one, truth be told, in long, 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 long time because most people know that it's made with eggs. I don't eat eggs and all of that. So, but it's also possible to have a souffle savory. I was not a fan of that. So I would have been more of a fan of a chocolate souffle day than I would have been to have the savory. Like it mm. Yeah, chocolate for sure. But it's a French creme patisserie base flavored cream sauce or puree, and then there's egg whites that are beaten to make a soft peak or meringue. I'll have to see if I can find a vegan souffle recipe because I'm sure that it can be made with aquafaba as I'm thinking about it. So that would be pretty cool. But now I'm gonna here we go down the rabbit hole. You know what I need? A rabbit hole button that sounds like you're just falling down a pit. Um, I just realized I need an entire soundboard every time I do this show. The souffle gets its flavor from the base, and the egg whites provide the lift that make it puff up. You can add different things to it. Like I said, I like the sound of it being chocolate, though, um, not so much the yeah. Not the savory. So happy chocolate souffle day. It's also National Tooth Fairy Day. I don't know if you guys knew that she had a day, but February 28th is National Tooth Fairy Day. Encourages us to take a look back on the history of one of dental care's little helpers. It's one way to help our children develop good dental hygiene. If you're not a fan, you can just la 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 through this little part. But in the mid 1920s, fairies were used for all sorts of health education, apparently, from bath fairies to fresh air fairies, as a way to get kids to remember to eat their vegetables, wash behind their ears, and get a good night's rest. Did you guys know this? I did not know this. This is really interesting. Like toothpaste today, advertisers fruity like toothpaste today advertises fruity flavors and sparkles to get kids to brush their teeth. In 1925, it was probably quite a bit more difficult considering the pastes were mostly peroxide and baking soda. One advertisement was for a fairy wand tooth whitener. This product promised to brush away cigarette and coffee stains. The ad was aimed at both children and adults. What? They were advertising that towards children? That's wild to me. Oh my gosh. So and then in 1927, Esther Watkins Arnold printed an 8-page playlet for children called The Tooth Fairy. So that's really interesting. That's how it all came about. I didn't know the history of that. So that is really cool. So happy National Tooth Fairy Day to all the tooth fairies of the world. and all those that are celebrating. It's also National Floral Design Day. I love I enjoy looking at floral designs, but it's never really been I used to try to get like fresh flowers and stuff to put in my house often. I don't do that a lot because it makes me sad to cut them and then they just die. If I prefer if I'm going to get things, I get a actual potted plant. In which case you don't really design them. I tried one time to like plant seeds to where I'd get a mix of things and weird stuff happens when you do that. So I don't recommend. But I also have a black thumb, so there's that. But to all those who do make those beautiful floral designs, happy National Floral Design Day to you. And it's also something really weird today. Are you ready for it? And I remember mentioning this last year and being a little bit traumatized. It's National Public Sleeping Day. Let me know if any of you would actually consider sleeping in public. I think without I'm not gonna read it yet, but I think without analyzing it too far, only thing I can think of is like when you accidentally fall asleep, when you're on a trip. So you might be on a plane or a train or something like that. But even then, I'm not a that makes me really self-conscious. Anybody else? Like, I don't know. Is there a fear of falling asleep in public? I think I might have that. I think I might have that. I don't know. Yeah. So, but if you're tired on February 28th, it might be because National Public Sleeping Day encourages a midday nap right where you are. So wherever you are in the middle of the day today, you're just supposed to nap. Could you just imagine if you were like in a business meeting? It's a day for anyone and everyone to take a nap on a blanket at the beach, on a park, in a movie theater. Some of us in the Northeast will not be napping outside today. In the movie theater, you pay good money for those tickets these days. On a bus, train, or subway, or any other public place that may work for you. However, it may not be a good idea to take a nap at your desk during work. So that's what we will not be doing today. Brittany's power just went out. See, we're back in the weather segment. Um, Danielle said, I can't even sleep in my own bed most of the time, let alone out and about around people. I agree. I agree. I have a hard enough time like okay, let me ask you, you guys want to go down a rabbit hole with me for a minute? We need a rabbit hole segment. Okay. You guys know the sound that the knocking sound that you guys know that sound. Um so it has been used in like horror movies before. And I think that may be adding to my feelings about it. But I have woken up to that noise. And this is really creepy, you guys. This has gone from Project Joy to Project Nightmare. Um, I have woken up to that exact rhythm of knocking a few times. And if you know something about this, and this is like a really creepy thing, will you please like just gently tell me about it? Like, don't creep me out to where I'm not going to be able to sleep ever again, please. Okay. But I have woken up and there's like no our windows are high up. There's like no one that would be knocking on the windows. It's happened in more than one place, house that I've been in over time. Like this is clearly a me thing. Um and I don't know if and like it wakes me up out of a super deep sleep, like super deep sleep. And I've heard of of there being knocking and people waking up to a knocking sound and then like they tell you don't answer the door or something like that. Oh my god, Danielle, I'm so glad I'm not alone in this. Wind chimes you don't have to what? Absolutely not. You guys wanna do a whole show about dreams? I need to get a dream expert or a sleep expert on the show, so that we can have a whole conversation about this because it creeps me out. I'm not gonna lie. It's one thing to hear like a just a plain knock, knock, knock sort of thing. That would creep me out enough, but to hear it in a rhythm like that, I don't know. I don't know. This is what we need to do, you guys. We need to take a quick break because I'm freaking myself out. Yes, right? Yes. Um, I'm craving myself out now. I will not be sleeping in public or in my bed tonight. Is what's gonna happen. I will not be sleeping ever, ever again. We're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back with the daily uplift. Can we even find joy in that? We're gonna be talking about finding joy in absolutely anything right after this.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
I invite you to visit thebreakthroughshow.com or even thebreakthroughshownetwork.com. Takes you both to the same place. And you can check out all of past episodes, connect with our hosts, our virtual community, all of that amazing stuff. Head over to our website and be a part of it. We have a lot of amazing events coming up. With that, I want to get into our daily uplift today, which asks the question, can we possibly find joy in absolutely any circumstance? We're going to unpack that right now. It's time for the daily uplift, which means I have a message for you today about joy. So, we're going to be talking about finding joy in absolutely every single moment. And as we get into this topic, I want to ask you this morning, do you believe it's possible to feel joy and sorrow simultaneously? Why or why not? And I want you to put it down in the comments right now as I'm sharing with you this topic today. So I understand how complex and even controversial this idea might seem. I have been told on several occasions that it's not possible and and that it's not fair or somehow honoring or many different things. I'll just say that there's a lot of pushback when it comes to this idea, especially when we are in the midst of life storms. It is really challenging and feels sometimes undermining to be in the middle of a challenge in your life and have someone say to you, well, have you seen the joy though? Like, have you found the joy? Like, I don't think that that's something that we would do and probably isn't a really good idea. So what I'm sharing with you today is really a tool that you can use for yourself. It's an awareness you can use for yourself, and it's also an awareness that I would welcome for any of you who would be open to it. Okay. This is a topic that requires us to lean into our our multifaceted beings with a certain level of both openness and compassion. The first part of this conversation, I want to acknowledge the very, very real emotions that come with our human experience, the sadness, the grief. Have you guys been watching Beyond 2D? I'm so in love with our grief conversation so far. The anger, the despair, all of those feelings are valid, deserve to be honored, and deserve for you to process through them in the time that feels right to you. Today's conversation isn't about ignoring those things or those emotions, pretending they don't exist. It's not about spiritually bypassing them or slapping. I'm not a fan of the phrase toxic positivity, but slapping something like that over our struggles. That's not what this conversation is about. Instead, what I invite you to do today is to explore the possibility that joy can coexist with everything else that we are experiencing in this life. It's about understanding that our hearts have the capacity to hold both sorrow and joy, pain and pleasure, challenge and triumph all at the same time. It's not about dishonoring our experiences by searching for joy. Rather, it's about honoring the full spectrum of our humanity. That's what I would love for you guys to think about as we have this conversation here today. Um, One of the things that I want to be really clear about is that searching for the joy and finding the joy in any moment doesn't erase the challenging ones. It doesn't prevent hardship from touching our lives. Things are still going to happen around us. But what if I told you that committing to making joy out of anything could be a powerful tool in navigating some of our most darkest moments? It's about finding that sliver of life in the deepest darkness, the moment of laughter amid tears, and a sense of connection in isolation. Recently, I was watching the movie Pollyanna. Do you guys know that movie? I don't remember what year it came out. It's an old Disney movie starring Haley Mills. And I loved Haley Mills from back in the day. She was such an incredible actress, and there she the little girl, her parents die and she's sent to live with her aunt, if you're not familiar with this movie. And her father was a minister, and so they had very little money. They kind of traveled a lot. She lived a very kind of I would call it a beige upbringing for a child. She tells one story in the movie where she wanted a doll, and and this is going to tie into what our topic is today, but she wanted a doll and she wasn't given a doll. But so part of what I want to talk about with this particular reference is that she played this game called the joy game, where she looked for, or I think it was called the glad game, not the joy game, the glad game. I'm the joy game. um, yes. And so she played the glad game, and she would tell people, all of these people in the town she moved to were kind of grumpy. And she would tell them, well, you should play the glad game. And they're like, what do you mean? And she said, well, my dad taught me that, like, in any situation to find something to be glad about. So she told this story about how she wanted the doll, and her dad had reached out to a missionary and said, my daughter really wants this doll. And like I said, they were poor. They didn't have a lot of stuff with them. And so they get a package in the mail, and the package that comes is a pair of crutches. Not a doll. And so the little old lady in the movie, she goes, now what's glad about that? And she says, well, what was glad about it is that I may not have gotten the doll and I may have gotten crutches, but I don't need to use the crutches. And it was sort of this really funny moment where it may have seemed like there was nothing. Here's a little girl, all she wanted was a doll, and she didn't get a doll, but she was able to go, I received crutches. I still walk away from that movie going, how the hell do you send crutches instead of a doll? Anyway, but my point in this is she was able to go, the gladness in this moment is that I don't need to use the crutches. Which is something to be glad about. Was she still sad because she didn't receive the doll? Probably, as a child. But she also had that joy of, like, hey, I don't need to I don't need to use the crutches. I'm grateful for that. And so that's what this conversation is about understanding that joy can coexist with our challenges, and that it's not about erasing anything, that it's just there. Um, I consider joy to be a beacon, which is a guiding light. It doesn't negate the storm, but it offers us a way through it. To look for the joy in every single moment is a choice, it's a practice, it's a commitment to ourselves in even our lowest points, and it increases our gratitude, and it helps us lean back on that knowing that of what we're sharing being our main message on Project Joy Live this year, that you are the joy. So if you are it, you can be the bearer of it, the creator of it, the light. You are that lighthouse, right? Um and so it's a reason to smile, a moment of beauty amidst the chaos. Um our journey isn't about ignoring the depth of our struggles. I think a lot of times I'm witnessing so often we get in this sort of tit for tat or competition of like who has it worse, who's had it worse throughout history, who has it worse right now, who has the worst struggles. Um, but this is about adding another layer rather than trying to be in that space of competition or focus on those things. It's about saying, yes, I'm in pain, I'm struggling, but I also see the beauty in this moment. Yes, and challenge and joy, struggle and joy. It's about saying, yes, I'm in pain, but I can see the beauty. Yes, I'm grieving, but I can also appreciate this expression of love. Yes, I'm afraid, but I can also find strength in my vulnerability. There's so much strength within you. And that's where a lot of this joy comes from as well. So, as we explore the idea of finding joy out of anything, I want you to open to your hearts to the possibility that joy and sorrow can dance together. That in the tapestry of our lives, every thread, no matter its color, adds a depth, a beauty, and a richness to who we are. So, what I would like to know today is if you can choose to allow yourself to be that multifaceted human being and experience the joy and sorrow at the exact same time, the joy and the grief, the joy and the pain. There's a good song about that, by the way. um, Ask yourself if you're willing to do that today, because I promise you that that can be a tool if you choose it. If you choose it, it can be a tool that can help you get through some of the darkest times that you'll ever experience. Play the glad game. Find the gladness, the joy in receiving crutches instead of a little doll. And with that, let's get to our birthdays. Happy birthday to you. It is somebody's birthday somewhere in the world. And that's another thing that helps me lean into that topic a little bit because, it's interesting because we're in this process of talking about grief on Beyond 2D, but we're also talking about joy here, which seems an opposite, but again, it happens simultaneously. Every moment, we lose somebody in this life, and it's sad to think about, but every moment another little life is born, and that's proof to me that joy and pain can exist simultaneously if we allow it to be so. For our birthdays today, country singer Jason Aldean is 47 years old today. Happy birthday, Jason. Incredible, iconic actress Kelly Bishop is 80 years old today. Do you guys remember her as the grandmother on Gilmore Girls? She was the mom in Dirty Dancing, the original Dirty Dancing. Let me know if you guys remember her. She's 80 years old today, you guys. Amazing, incredible actress, Kelly Bishop. Happy birthday. Gilbert Gottfried, who passed away in 2022, had a birthday today. One of the queens of Broadway and musicals, and an incredible actress. You might remember her in the movie Annie. Bernadette Peters is 76 years old today. Happy birthday, Bernadette. Ali Larter, 48 years old today. She's an actress. You might know her from Final Destination, Varsity Blues, among other things. Um, That's awesome. Happy birthday, Allie. That brought me back. Brought me back for just a moment there. Patrick Monahan, the lead singer of Train, is 55 years old today. Happy birthday, Patrick. Also, the celebrities in my life, Allison Tesh, who is the wife of our best man from my husband and I's wedding. Happy birthday, Allison. And from back in my school days, Kishana Yelverton has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Kishana. I hope you are set up to have an amazing day. So we're going to give the birthday song a whirl today. And hopefully we're going to just cut right to the song afterwards so I can make sure I'm not going to have a coughing fit on air. So here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jason Aldean, Kelly Bishop, Gilbert Godfrey, Bernadette Peters, Allie Larder, Patrick Monahan, Allison Tesh, and Kishana Yelverton. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. I did in fact thank God for that video moment so I could take a drink and all of that stuff. I'm proud of my little lungs though today. I held out till that needing to take a breath before the last the last name. I'm getting there, you guys. I'm getting there, and I'm trying to really honor my body through this fun time that it has been for me. Excuse me, over the last 9 days. So all of that being said, let's talk about what's on the Breakthrough Show Network the rest of the week. Thank you, Dr. Dre. Coming up the rest of the week, let's talk about a few 2-3 things here. On Friday, super excited to be joined on Project Joy Live by the Queen of Gratitude, Miss Sharon Saraga Walters will be here joining us. Joy and gratitude, as we know, go hand in hand. We're going to find out what gratitude Sharon is most focused on in 2024 and the joy that she is experiencing, and lots more coming up on Friday's episode. After that episode, we will be embarking on our co-working hours beginning at 9:55 a.m. Eastern Time. We begin promptly at 10 a.m., runs till 12. It is a great place for you to come and bring your work, your schoolwork, your crafts, your chores, anything that you're working on around your business or your house or anything like that, and really get that to-do list done. It is so much better to be in a place where you can be held accountable and also celebrated for what you accomplished. So join us. It's free to join. Take a moment, screenshot, and follow that QR code to our virtual community, and you can subscribe to our calendar at the top of the page. Also coming up on Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Carolyn McGee will be joining the Breakthrough Show at 1 p.m., talking about the relationship of allowing, realizing the relationship that we have with absolutely everything on this planet, and what happens when we just allow within that relationship. This is going to be an incredible conversation, so don't miss it. Plus, we have a new episode of Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light, coming up on Sunday. We have coffee time on Saturday, lots of things happening on the weekend, which I'll talk more about on Friday's show as well. I love you all so much. I wanted to give a moment of special thanks to everybody who has sent me messages, all the good vibes for healing, all of my energy workers out there who have been sending that Care Bear stare through the internet. I really just appreciate and love you so very much. You bring a lot of joy to my life and my day every day. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I'll be back with you on Friday. I want you to remember to make joy a priority in your life today and every day, and no matter what circumstances are thrown your way. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. I've been lifting myself up, yeah, I've been climbing.